Okay, I'm going to replace my stereo in my 2003 SRX 182 C-Ray. Here's what I currently have in here with a couple of speakers, Kenwood speakers back in the back. So here's what it currently sounds like. If you can hear it, I'll crank it up a little bit. Okay, sounds okay for what's in here, but it does not have Bluetooth. So this radio pretty much doesn't do me any good out on the water if I have no reception. So looking to replace it, and I'll show you how. Alright, here's what I'm going to install. It's a Sony DSX-M55 Bluetooth. It's got 4 channels, 55 watts. I'm also putting in this Sony speakers. This kit I got off of eBay for about $70, so hoping it's a fairly inexpensive upgrade, and let's see what happens. Alright, if you look underneath your dash in your boat, there's usually a lot of room underneath here. And you could see just typical antenna here, which I'm going to unplug. Typical plug here. That I'm going to unplug. And looks like there was something else wired in here. Maybe another set of speakers, or maybe some sort of amp. I'm the second owner of this boat, so I really don't know what was in here prior, or what they had. So, but it looks like they had something else wired in. So I'm gonna clip a few wires here, which you can see here's a couple of speaker wires. Then I'm gonna look at all this up here, how it's wired in. Usually pretty standard. This stuff usually has speakers, there's power, there's usually a couple of other wires here, but I'm going to disconnect all this stuff and then start wiring in the new unit. As far as removing the head unit, this is what's called a single DIN. You can see this wire here is labeled battery. Makes it pretty simple. This is what's called a single DIN, meaning that it's you'll see a double DIN and a single DIN. This is a single DIN unit where it's just one unit. The double DIN is twice as thick as this. You'll see those with touch screens and maybe GPS, navigation, all that stuff. I don't need that. But as far as removing this, you can see it's just one bolt that's holding this one on, and then it slides into this these tabs here that hold in. So I'll get this removed here and we'll carry on. Okay, here's the plug for the new radio that I'm putting in, and you can see the wiring diagram here. Pretty standard. Your black is always ground, your yellow is battery, red is AC, blue and white striped is rem out, and then your speaker wires are all purple, green, green and black, white and black striped. So pretty standard. Shows you what to look for when you get a new radio. And if you look underneath here, now that I got the wire harness disconnected, you'll see a lot of this stuff is marked, right? It's already yellow. This is the connector here that was from the old radio, but you could see your standard black, your standard yellow, right? Battery, like I said. And then all your speaker wires, right? Not, you know, seeing all these wires may be intimidating, right, at first, but this is all pretty standard, and depending on how many speakers you have will determine, you know, how many wires you got out of here, right? But again, this is pretty standard. So if you've never installed a radio, very simple. It's not that complicated. Don't be scared. Again, it's pretty standard stuff that all these things, especially the newer radios now, are pretty simple. So Again, this is what you're going to see under your dash. So I'm going to start disconnecting this. Again, if this is an upgrade for my C-Ray 182, you're going to start to see, I'm going to post more videos of other stuff that I'm going to do to this boat. It's a really nice boat when I first got it, but I'm going to do a few upgrades here and there. So hit the like button if you like this video, and subscribe, and look for more videos from me in the future. All right. Okay, again, just took the tabs off the side, and you can see this radio will pull right out. And what you're left with is a slot. So again, now this bracket that's in here, okay, and you can see the tabs right here. You push these tabs right here, pull them out actually, and that's what kind of locks the radio in. And then that rear support that I had to unscrew. But this is pretty much what holds the radio in place. And I may or may not replace this one depending on if the other radio fits in here. All right. Okay, here's what you're left with. Right. Again, I removed this cover, and they're just thin sheet metal. So you could see this thing kind of bends and flexes, but there's a lot of little tabs right here. And this is what you need to bend flat to get it out. This is kind of what holds it in, kind of what keeps it in place. So you can see these tabs are pretty much all over. This one here is the one that holds the radio in. So again, I'm going to replace this, put the other one back in, and then to be continued. Okay, so here's the radio. It's installed. I'm going to show you a little bit because this was going to bug me once it gets out on the water. But if you could see, this thing moves a little. I'll try to do it from underneath. But you can see there's slop in it. And that's where I go back to tell you the tabs that are on the outer bracket is what tightens this up. And I'll show you in a second. Okay, you can see I got these tabs bent. Right, and they're on the side. And you can see now this thing barely moves. I'm gonna install the radio. If you keep hearing jets flying by, we got a air show going on, so I got some F-35s and F-18s that are flying over by, so you'll hear them in the background. So if I get muted out by jet noise, just hey, enjoy the air show and the sounds of freedom. Okay. Onward. Now you can see from when I move it, it doesn't move at all. So I'm still going to put the support bracket in the back just because I don't like anything vibrating or rattling. So I'm going to put that extra bracket in there. Okay, some people will just use wire or butt connectors or some kind of connector like this, which I think are not that good. These connectors that I use, try to be as factory as possible. So I rewired this harness, right? Put all these connectors on with some clear plastic. Allows for a little less water to get in there, condensation, prevent corrosion. Some people can put a little Vaseline on here. These connectors, because there's a lot of water that gets underneath this dash, these should be sufficient. All right, so got it all wired up. Just a little hint, right? You could use zip ties, of course, but a little tip if you wanted to. Take your thickest wire and you could just wrap it around the entire harness, and it creates a little bit of a little zip tie, and then it just ties all in there together. Okay, stereo's in. We got the speakers. So right now I'm just running these two speakers in the rear of the boat. I'm not going to record the sound on here because I've seen YouTube videos where you can't tell the difference. But what I'm telling you is it's definitely an upgrade. My speakers sound pretty good. I'm going to add a couple of speakers up here in the front. So that's going to give me 4. So stay tuned for that. But all in all, I'm happy with my upgrade. Again, this is the Sony DSX-55. Got it off of eBay for about $70, and Bluetooth, I have no problem. I know some people put on the review that they have trouble connecting. My phone connects right away. I have, there's a setting on here that you can auto connect, or you could do the one touch connect. I just have auto, so when I'm in the boat, pretty much it automatically connects. So can't wait to hear it out on the water. But all in all, I'm happy with this. Downside, it does come with this little remote here. Pretty much useless. If you shut the door, if I shut the glove box, you can't, the remote doesn't work. But you could pretty much access everything from your phone. I'm using an iPhone 13, so you can access everything from your phone. Otherwise, I'm happy with the upgrade. All right, again, click the like button, click the subscribe, and look for more upgrades on my boat.